backpack to make, but it's okay. Alright. Go back underwater for a second. One last little scan here to see if there are any water critters in maybe this sinkhole someplace that I have missed. 'Cause, you know, it's always good to just try to hunt down those last couple things. And it's like me going on those surveying missions in Starfield. They're, you know, they're not the most exciting thing. They're a little dry, but when you're on a world, you're trying to hunt down the last couple of specimens with your scanner. I don't know. I get the scientific urge. So for everything not to just be hammers and nails, a guy to shoot and a gun you shoot him with. All right, so this is the interior of the Claudel. I will get to showing an exterior view at some point of this thing. This is my lowest bottom deck of the thing. I have a middle deck that has two hull sections, and then a top deck which contains my bridge, which has a really cool looking bridge. I think of it as the best of the three. Oh, see you later. Having fun. See you later, bro. Yeah, nice. I do like when people stop by and give a little chat. Like I said, feel free to gab at me. Like I said, I'm not really jumping into anything new. I'm not jumping into any spectacular, brand new, sensation-seeking sort of live streaming. I am just kind of doing, what do they call it in manga and anime? Kind of a slice of life sort of a thing. So my little modules, my little habitation modules here. Again, I have the Ambassador class, which is a little more streamlined and sleek as opposed to the Titan, which are a little militaristic looking. And then there's the Thunderbird class modules where everything has that Serenity from Firefly. All the wiring and circuitry is kind of all sticking out from the walls, and see all the ducts and everything. Whereas this is a little more like this. You have a choice of exterior windows. I always like to go for these little round ones because you can do this from here. You can actually stand it. You can do it from anywhere within your ship. You couldn't do that. You can't do that with the other vehicles, the other starships that you fly. You just can't do you can do a scan, but it will only show you vague things, like if there's a structure in the distance. Oh yeah. So I have a berth, a little sleeping pod, which I'm not sure what those are supposed to really do because you can't. I don't know if you can hop into them as a passenger, but as captain of the ship, you can't hop in them. There's a nice nutrient processor, which gives you processing of lots of stuff. Oops. And then I'm just falling down the hatchway, which is something you never want to have the chance of doing in an actual ship. It's like, oh yeah, I'll be right back. Stumble, crunch. Now let's see here. This is one of the generators for the thing. The rear cabin, which again just has a little bit of living accommodations. One of the cool things about the Thunderbird living accommodations is it looks like that little compartment on the Millennium Falcon where Chewie and C-3PO were playing that little chess game with the holographic creatures. This stuff, though, again, a little more slick. Mission radar. You can take on stuff. You can put different types of windows in. You've got the big broad one, and then you have what I think is a nice field, even though you can't really get in and sit in it. But it's this nice little thing where you can kind of potentially just kind of settle yourself in and look out the window as we're flying. Switch into first-person view. Again, the Gen Xer me of the past would have not considered all the little graphical bells and whistles that this does, even though it might not be maybe as deluxe as perhaps, I don't know, like in even a higher level of PC with maybe even more processing power of some kind. But I like the fact that there's illumination. This shadowing is real time. All the little reflections, say, off of this little floor panel are real time. All the little bells, all the little textures. That little floor texture there. That's my little sight is aiming at. I mean, that is ridiculous. It's not something that I guess back in, say, 2000, 2001, would have even thought was all that important to even need in a game. You just needed your basic stuff to make the experience what it was. But oh yeah, by the way, the cockpit of this thing, it's really cool. A little wire inductee in some respects. But you have something very 1970s science fiction about these little cool flashing lights and this little collar around the pilot's chair. There's something very Mother from the movie Alien about these lights. But anyway, so yeah, move on in. Got our little indicators, got our little controls. Very cool. Not sure what these things are. Oh yeah, okay. Are they floating there? Okay. So we hop in. Go into photo mode. Give you an opportunity to get a look at what my relatively simple ship looks like. I think I may have blown it. I think if I had added, as you complete stages in the expedition, you get these hull packets, you get all these parts that you can throw at your ship. I should have just attached them before I ended the expedition and came back to the main game, because what I'm running into now is, that doesn't seem very space-worthy, does it? It's all right, though. But when you come back from the expedition, you get to keep certain things that were in the expedition, but a lot of other stuff gets lost. And there were a number of really cool things that I think I should have found some way to transition back into the main game. But, it's all right. No big gripes. But the way that it kind of allows you to put stuff together, like for whatever reason, allowed me to put these big boosters together like this, and it doesn't cause any problems. I thought about trying to do, one of my absolute favorite ships, in the world of science fiction, is the Serenity, just because it's this humble hummingbird firefly shaped vessel. But I kind of went for something that's kind of like that, but just with a little more of a deluxe sort of feeling to it. But I suppose if I wanted to, and again, you can make just these enormous corvettes. You might, watching this, you might be like, yeah, of course, duh. But just more stuff that did not exist in any way, shape, or form at one point in my life when I was much younger. Like 22-year-old me with my old Sega Genesis would have just been like, yeah, there's no way they'd be able to achieve these kinds of visuals. Like, what even has that kind of, that degree of just processing power to do it? But then you get here, and actually, one of the things I like about this ship is, once I kind of, it was just just two levels, the two in the middle and the one on the bottom. But one of the things I like about the way it looks is, at least from the back and then from different angles, it looks like some kind of a hawk or a bird in flight in some respect. Something very avian looking about it. Some people made broader, chunkier looking ones, but once I kind of found this, and once the pieces kind of came together, I looked at it and said, you know, I think I will stick with this design. There's just something really oddly super satisfying about this puppy. So this has been my baby for the last couple weeks, last several days. I don't know what it's been, but yeah, just kind of doing a quick tour through. Oh wow, this is nice in that it allows you to be able to look in between things, if you want to, anyway. I don't know. I'm not as much of a nut about that kind of thing, but when you run into graphical stuff that's made out of just literally nothing, just polygons that behave like they're solid or behave like they're... Yeah, anyway. Okay, so nothing there. So looking east, I have that. I have my base. It's there. Base there. And there is, here we go. So I decided to kind of survey the world, to do like a complete ring around it, to really take my time with it, since I happen to, at the moment, have had actually a few days off to do this, which is why I've been able to do this. My job allowing me to do this, which is nice. To have a little time off and still to know that the job's going to be there when you come back, and that it is actually going to do what I need it to do, which is fit the bill. Right, so there's that. Looking south, and now east. So we're going to do this. Didn't used to be that going into third person in this game felt better. It used to be so clunky and very, last to before last generation looking, that it was kind of hard to stomach it. But now, the way this is, and the way this guy looks, like everything about it is just all right. I am going to plant one of those. Looking east, and we are going to take a look around.